Hi, nice to see you guys. I'm singing Greatest Day since Cannes, so I really love this movie.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
C'è un ragazzo che vuole una che sappia il russo. Si occuperà lei di tutte le tue necessità.
Dio benedica l'America.
first of all, I think there's a fil rouge between Anora, Cinderella, and Pretty Woman, but the difference is that Anora isn't afraid, or at least if she is, she doesn't show it. And how important was to you both to show that women don't need to grow up with the constant fear. They tell us that we should have fear about basically everything. So how much important it was to show that we could live without fear.
Well, I think just from the very beginning, I was the way I was developing Annie's character. It's more interesting to have somebody who is not going to be submissive in these sort of situations. Somebody who is fighting back, somebody who has strength, somebody who is fighting for what she wants and what she believes in. I think that's just a more dynamic character. So that's what I was looking for in Annie, and plus she comes with that New York attitude. Which I truly appreciate, being that I'm from there. What do you think? Is that?
Yeah, I agree with everything Sean's saying, but I also have to say, I think there's times throughout the film that she is scared in different ways. I think that she feels lots of different things, and it's a roller coaster of emotions. She's going through very complicated, condensed, a lot of complicated things in a condensed amount of time. And so it's only natural that she would feel scared, but I think she pushes through that and fights for what she believes in.
And speaking about that, she's a fighter and she's full of life. And do you believe that she isn't, because nowadays we are all so, there's apathy everywhere. She doesn't have apathy. Do you believe that she's like that because she has to earn everything? She really needs to earn everything, every single thing. And instead, today we, at least in this part of the world, we have access to everything in a click. So it's important, in your opinion.
Well, I think that Annie has a work ethic. She's a hard worker. She's she's probably the breadwinner at home. Probably, we don't say that, but she's probably paying rent. She's street smart. She's independent. So that just comes with the territory, right? Wouldn't you say? Yeah. Sorry.
And I really love the ending. The ending is amazing. When I saw it, I thought, okay, this is an instant classic, because the look between Annie and Igor is like the one between Rick and Ilsa in Casablanca, or Mia and Sebastian in La La Land. How important is to you to really go back to look each other in the eye, because the two human beings finally see each other, finally look the other in the eye. So how important is to really look to other people, in your opinion?
Well, it might be the first time in the film where the character of Annie is actually seen and heard by another human being. And I think that's a different dynamic than the way that that we've seen Annie with others throughout the entire film, And so I think that is a significant moment. That's a moment in which, two human beings are actually communicating. Whereas in the rest of the film, there's just a lot of miscommunication. What would you?
Yeah,
do you agree?
I think that also that moment is, I think, the longest amount of time that they have eye contact. I think Annie is constantly breaking his eye contact. He's looking at her and she'll notice, but she looks away. And that's a moment where she allows herself to look. I think she's looking for something specific.
This is a sad thing because, at least in Italy, part of the audience, part of the male audience, says that when a movie has a female character in the leading role, they can relate. They can't relate because they don't, they can't have empathy for a female character. Yeah, it's something horrible because maybe they can relate to a blue alien and not to a female character. To me, it's absurd. So I want to ask you both, what would you say to them? Because Sean, you gave us so many beautiful female characters and you never judge your characters.
Yeah.
And to you, Mickey, what does it feel like when somebody tells you that your character is, you can relate because she's a female?
Oh, well, that's crazy. Number one, but number two, it's actually Italian films that have a major influence on this film. Sorry. There are a few Italian films with female leads that actually really had a major influence on Anora. Number one, Fellini's Nights of Cabiria, and a Monica Vitti film called The Girl with a Pistol. And those two films, I think, had really strong female characters that actually were some of the early examples of, empathetic approaches to storytelling. So, and especially with Nights of Cabiria, to sex work. So, wow, I'm sad to hear that.
Yeah.
And I hope it's changing. But I actually have been inspired by films that don't seem to have that going on. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
Yeah.
And Mickey, what do you think? What would you say to those people?
I think that's like what Sean said. It's a sad perspective. I watch films often with male lead characters, and I feel that I can relate to them in some way. Yeah. So I think it just has to do with being human, and I don't think it's really about gender, at least for me. But there's many characters in this film that audience members could relate to in some way, I think.
Another Italian director that I look to often for very inspirational female characters is a female director, Lena Waltmuller, who I consider, her films have had a big influence on me. And you can see, I think, part of Swept Away in Anora. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. The movie is amazing. I hope to see you at the Oscars.
Oh, thank you. All right, bye-bye.